Sad, sad, sad. No reason for that. I want to bring something else up because it's been brought up to me a couple times a while ago, and it's kind of fresh to me now. Somebody asked me last night after the M&H Superfund meeting why I didn't take an 80K offer from Carus Chemical. Well, that's a rumor that's bouncing around inside city chambers because Jerry Reynolds was the man who was talking to the guy. Toot, toot, toot. You know, Jerry, I'm the Pied Piper. The more I toot my horn, the more followers I get. Well, you know what? When you want to talk shit, I know you're old and you can't hear very well. My hearing's pretty good. And you ever call me an asshole again, you better come to my face and say it to me. Because I'm not running around behind your back saying shit. I always say it to your face. But see, what you did is you made a city meeting act to where I can't do that no more. I don't know how an alderman can run around and talk shit about somebody, talk about my troubled history from fucking 27 years ago, or that I'm an asshole because I know what's going on. I'm a smart asshole that can toot his fucking horn all he wants. Toot, 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 toot. Asshole. You think people don't hear? Fuck, you were right behind me, Jerry Reynolds. He's an alderman here in LaSalle. He got voted back in by his ward, the ward that also allows the Hotel Kaskaskia to crumble to the fucking ground, owned by Carus Chemical, and the Maytag building. Yet to see anything go on with that fucking eyesore, have we? They're all in his ward. Ask yourself that question, people. So, moving on. Moving on. We're going to move on, Jerry Reynolds. I'll be at the next meeting too, partner. Still waiting for my flyer. Yep. Bunch of fucking lies is all we get in the city. I'll let you know. Not this Monday, the following Monday. They're trying to get... We need people down here to make sure this truck route gets shut down on my block. We need people there. And I hope you guys are listening, because the people that showed up to the M&H meeting last night was almost a crying fucking shame. Was a crying shame. The only city guy I seen there was Jerry Reynolds talking shit to the people around him about me. That's all I seen. So, moving on. Let's get into it. Fred and Cynthia Carus was at that meeting. They must have thought that meeting was important to bring the old lady out of the fucking woodworks. I actually thought it was his mom, but it was his wife, Cynthia. So they were both there, and we'll get on to that later on. Nervous as a three-peckered billy goat he was. So anyway, because we're talking about his property and what's going to happen to it and what's going to go on with it. All the original EPA ladies. Collier, I've dealt with her in the past. I'm not too impressed. And neither is many of the people that message her and they get the fucking runaround. Because that's what she likes to do. Just like she used last night. I want to bring something up. Meeting starts off. First thing they say is, we're not here to talk about the Carus Chemical fire. And it's like, no shit. No shit. We know that. But I guess they had to make that clear just in case, me or any of my people wanted any more questions about the fire. We could possibly suck them out of her dumb ass. Well, I've dealt with her. There's not much you're going to get out of her. Information, but as for sight, being present, non-existent. That's a fact. She says She says the slag pile, that 95-foot slag pile that's on Carus Chemical property, she says was. She said was, not more than once, but twice. It's recorded. Was. Try to downplay it. This is how they downplay it. And when people don't catch what they're saying, you miss it. She said was. It's still there, people. It's still there. And that's what the plan is, to try to address that. Ask yourself, we got a little Vermilion River loaded with fish, but we can't go fish it because why? Because Carus Chemical and M&H got it fucking polluted and they don't want to do nothing about it. We asked about the dirt they dig from our fucking homes. Us contaminated Superfund site people. They dig our dirt and they take it over on the M&H site. And in there they stage that dirt. It's not being put where in its permanent place, like they told us they were going to do. Dig a hole, line it, fill it, cap it, grass it. Someday maybe a nature fucking walk. Who knows? But, you know, they're not going to let us back there on that property. The only way they're going to do anything to their property is if they have future plans of building something or making themselves bigger. Because then they can go in and they can cap the land because it's zoned as commercial. They're allowed to do that. And under commercial fucking rights, you can do that. You can build on it, on contaminated Superfund land. As long as you go by the laws and the EPA bullshit you got to go through. So, they're staging this dirt, taking it out. It's blowing around all summer long. They're hauling it in, hauling it away. They don't spray it down. I ain't seen them use fucking water to hose nothing down, not once. Don't even see people using protective equipment, PPE. Don't see them using it. So they take this dirt, they drive by the pile of dirt that they're bringing in that's clean that we're using. Now we're on it, the most contaminated part of the site, the most contaminated part, people. And they're bringing our clean dirt in it, and she says, well, it's separated. I said, yeah, by a fucking rock throw away. You come in, there's dust blowing all around because the trucks are coming in and out all day long. You're getting that contaminated dust over there. Then you're dumping the shit. You're dumping it over here. You got clean dirt over there, some gravel here, and the dirt over there by my neighbors' homes. Yes, they piled it behind the homes, people. They didn't stage it away from us, way out in the fucking woods where nobody'd be around it. No, they staged it straight north of my house, 1 block. You can see the pile. You can see it. And at the end of the year, they throw grass seed on it. Now, does that fucking sound right to you? And then when I mentioned to her about this dirt and the clean dirt, she acts like, oh, well, I guess we should look into that. You're damn right you should. And if you're that slow that you can't fucking figure out cross-contamination, what the hell are you doing here? Why are we spending millions of dollars on a cleanup? They fear me, people. They fear me because I have information. So, we're going to move on. So they said the slag pile was. You know, Carus Chemical property, they're not responsible. You should have heard the whole spew. Because you want to know why? It's all transcribed, people. It's all going to be in permanent friggin' record. And it gets better when you keep listening to what I got to fucking tell you. And I hope you got time, because this is going to be a little stretch here. I'm going to try to go through it as quick as I can, but, you know, whatever. I brought up Brownsfield. They tested my daughter's yard. My daughter has not been cleaned up. Her yard was, we tested it. The city wanted to test so we could have, to see how bad it was contaminated. Worse, from The EPA took their samples. The date Brownfield took their samples, which was 2000, I think. It's like 2 years, whatever. They contact Kyle Ayer, and she's going to say, anyway, they contact her. They tell them, this is where you got to do it. This is how you find your easement. Then off your easement, break the yard up in 4 fucking quarters. And gave them the map, gave them the information. They took the samples. Now last night she's telling me, well, they didn't do it the way we did it. I said, well, what do you mean? I seen how they did it. They went 1 to 3 inches, 3 to 6 inches. It's in the paperwork. They even went 1 inch. Everything they did, they were duplicating. That's why they were in contact with her. Now last night, she just basically said, oh no, I'm not going to argue with you. No, not going to happen. Not going to argue with you. She did not want to accept Brownfield's test. But she was in contact with Brownfield, who did the testing to know where to test and how to test, according to EPA standards. So, I guess I was right about Brownfield selling out. Right? All just a fucking show and tell for us residents. Oh, noisemakers. Noisemakers. So, discredited that. It was a big show and tell for Carus. Push the blame off on M&H. Well, we all know M&H and Carus. They bump Peters together, people. They're brother and fucking sister. So, whatever. She didn't answer one question. She gave a lot of babble and a lot of runaround, but I didn't really get a fucking question one answered. Whatever. Didn't answer us. Oh, Superfund. I asked about how Carus got off the national priority list. And I said they brought you to court, correct? And, no. Well, then she goes on to say, well, we don't deal with active running manufacture plants. Superfund sites deal with non-active, abandoned sites. I say, yeah, okay, so how come Freddie Carus gets to run Continental Metals and rents the building out that's on a contaminated site behind a Superfund fence that says, keep out Superfund site? How come they get to use the Apollo with the benefit of a Superfund fence with a sign that says, keep out? Well, I don't know much about the Muddies. And we tried to get them, but they bunch of bullshit is what it was. Bunch of bullshit. Freddie Carus, I'm sorry, you got caught with shit up in there, barrels of shit you shouldn't have had. You didn't get fined, you didn't pay a fucking dime, and you get off with a fucking big old billion and you still get to make money out the back of the fucking contaminated site. Along with Carus Chemical and the Apollo. But she don't know much about the Apollo or the Muddies, but it's awfully funny. Oh, damn, I left that paper in the house. Oh, poor me. Must have too much to talk about. Awfully funny. 1995, there's a paperwork talking about the Muddies. And they're talking about la-di-da-di-da and how we're trying to get off the national priority list in 1995, people. 95 they were fighting to get off it. Because you want to know why? It's detrimental to our business. It's detrimental to the value of our property. It's detrimental to, our fucking precious name. I can read it with my own eyes. Detrimental. EPA eats the shit up. So, we got a dirt issue with our dirt. They're not storing it right. I don't even trust her doing the jobs right because my yard looks like shit, and you're going to see that later on when I show you a video of it. She don't deal with manufacturing sites. You want to know why she doesn't deal with a running manufacturer site, it's because Carus Chemical, I had a conversation with this collier a long time ago. And she told me Carus Chemical kicked the US EPA Superfund site program department out of their fucking property. That's what she told me. They were not allowed to go back on their property. They refused to do anything else. Came right out of that lady's mouth. I don't forget shit. And it's probably in an email. And I probably got it. Don't get me digging. Payment. She talks about payment, people. I'm going to let you know something. I'm going to tell you. The fire, EPA cleanups, Superfunds, they get reimbursed for everything they do. Every man hour, everything they do. Them people that came here for the fire, old Robert, the deer and fucking headlights, and the other couple guys, yeah, there's a chunk of money in a pot. IDNR gets a chunk. EPA gets their money and what they got invested in it. US EPA gets their chunk of money, and then they go through it. And as that fucking little portion of money gets smaller, people, guess what? Their involvement gets smaller. They back the fuck away. But they say that they're going to get reimbursed. So what they mean by reimbursement does not mean what you think it means. It does not mean they're going to reimburse the millions and millions of dollars it's going to cost to clean up this shit. It means they're going to get reimbursed for their time, their precious time and their material. Because, the EPA has to keep their jobs too. That's what it's all about, people. The fucking almighty dollar bill. And how bad when somebody asked specifically about testing yards that have already been cleaned and making sure that they're clean and they're not getting contaminated by either the operations of the cleanup or the smokestack violations or wind blowing around. She looked at us like she thought, oh man, how detrimental that would be to the fucking EPA if they did a Superfund site and come to find out the motherfucker turned back into a Superfund site again. Now think about it, people. You want them testing? You think they're going to do more testing? They're going to fucking dig nail and tooth not to do that. Because if they find that out, guess what happens to the all-precious budget to the Superfund fucking site? People who take care of all these Superfund sites all over the world. The money go bye-bye. So hell no, they're not going to test. And hell yeah, they're going to fight and tell you that, oh, you're below, you're below, you're below. Oh, we're going to test for the wrong shit. And oh, we got to come back 4 or 5 times to do the right job and let the rain wash it away. Wrong, people. Wrong. She refuses, will not test, and she will not accept any fucking test that you get from anybody if you test your yard and it comes up bad. But I have a friend, don't worry, she might even be watching. She knows the laws on that shit too. Because if you go and buy a home and I want to test your fucking soil, guess what? If you want to sell it bad enough, you'll let me test it. Especially when you live around a fucking chemical plant, people. I'm learning a lot, and I'm teaching you a lot. She said she doesn't know much about the Muddies or the Apollo. That's a friggin' lie. It's a friggin' lie. It's a complete lie. She knows everything about the Apollo. In the paperwork, it states that the Apollo will be behind a Superfund EPA fence, and the land behind it is highly contaminated, and that nobody should be back there, and nobody should be going back there. And we know there's trespassers because we know there's holes in the fences, and we know people like to go back there fishing because it's a fucking river back there. Some people used to go swimming. They know all this. But they said, we put a fence up, we're not doing nothing with it. Leave it lay. We're not doing shit with it. And then Carus abuses the building. Says there'll be a man in there once in a blue moon. They're fucking trucking shit down the road for fucking 20 years. Unbelievable. And they know it. They knew it. Did they go in the building? Probably not. Whatever. Something about the Apollo, people. Something about the Apollo. So, hey, I don't give a shit if you test your soil, because that's just going to make them bad. Now we're going to get good. Now we're going to get good. I did talk about the 80 grand, right? That they claim they offered me. That, yeah, I think I did. Okay, I want to get that fucking clear. People, I'm an open book. They offered me 80 grand. I'd be shouting from the rooftops because you deserve that too. But I'm telling you something. I didn't get no 80 grand. I can't even get them to listen to this before I move on to the good part of the meeting. So the nice lady in Illinois that I thought was so great, you know, she's now dealing with my wife. I sent my VIN numbers to a truck and a trailer. I got another truck and an older trailer. Some reason my State Farm wants me to, I don't know, figure it out on my own. So I don't know what the hell we're paying them for, but so I said, hey, screw it. Hey, Davies, you need to come look at it. I don't know what to do with it. Anyway, so I started emailing the lady who we were dealing with it in the past because she emailed me. And I said, gave her the VINs. I talked to her. I was being real nice. I was like, I'm glad you got a hold of me and being so fast. Can you forward this information to whoever it needs to go to? Well, then this nice girl from Illinois who now blocks her phone number, she didn't block it for me. Her name popped up and everything. She's dealing with my wife. She says, I ain't got no email. So they email her. She said, I don't see no VINs. Am I fucking blind? She's getting all ignorant with my wife, right? And she's getting her confused. She's like, how many of them are there? There's so many of you hexes. It's like, really now? We ain't even talked about the other one across the street. So, she's getting all frazzled. You know what? The one other people who started it with Davy's group, they started off kind of nice too, and then they got fucking frazzled. Too much stress. Too much, because it's too much bullshit that Carus is trying to get out of. I hate to say it, but it's true. And ignorance. You want somebody to be nice to you, you be nice to them. They're too fucking scared to come over here with their adjusters because I ran all the other ones off. What's up, Moose Moose? There's my babies. My morning babies. Loud mouse. Anywho, so I go up to the podium because I know it's going to be recorded. We're going back to the M&H meeting now. I know it's going to be recorded. Everything is. And that's why they were talking so sweet about Carus and how they're not responsible. And, it's separated, it's separated, it's separated. It gets good now, people. So I get done with my own fucking speech and blah, 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 and I get it on record. All of a sudden, this cat comes up and they say, anybody else want to talk? He's in a suit, been sitting over there by himself writing shit down in a notebook. He gets up and he says, yeah, I'd like to talk. His name is Tim Diamond. He's been a Carus Chemical attorney for some time now, and he's an environmental attorney for Carus Chemical. Well, ask yourself, learning at an M&H meeting, why would Carus Chemical have an attorney sitting there waiting to fucking rebut people? And that's exactly what he did. He went after the old fucking Jamie Hicks show. He went after me. And he tried to rebut everything I said. Well, I'm sorry, but we'll get into what he had to say, and we'll get into the facts. I asked about the national priority list, people. How'd they get off it? He says, they're still on the national priority list. He said, no, they're not. I can look it up on the EPA website. What do you think I did when I got home last night? I looked it up on the EPA website, and I took a fucking picture of it, and I printed it, so you can't steal it from me. Because you will go back and take it down. And it says, not on the national priority list. Also says Carus Chemical Superfund site. So if you think I pulled that shit out of the fucking sky and made it up, Attorney Tom Diamond, you're wrong. I can't believe you come in there. If you lie like that to the people, you're lying like hell up in a courtroom. I guess that's how Carus got where they're at, using you for 20 years, right? Pretty fucking good, huh? Anyway, he says they tried to get out of their obligations in 2007. Wait, let me get that right. First, he didn't give me a time. He said they tried to get out of their obligations. I would imagine it was for cleaning up, because I said they weren't doing nothing. And he says they went to court, and there was an agreement. In 2003, it was filed, and then in 2005, it was resolved. And they said that Carus lost and the state won, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Yeah, I know what he's talking about. He's talking about the testing and all the bullshit they're supposed to do to be able to be up in what EPA wants them to do and up to the CERCLA codes and shit laws for Superfund sites. They tried to get out of it. They went to court. They bitched and cried. It was detrimental and blah, blah, blah. It's a rerun over and over again. I've heard it. M&H says it. Freddie Carus says it. Carus Chemical says it. So he said they tried to get out of the obligations, and the United States won. Yep, they won. They won because Carus now had to provide the engineering to go and do the testing themselves, pay for it out of pocket, which they did, which was very nice of them. It's their fucking land. Drill boreholes, take samples, well, groundwater. I got it all. I got it all. Collier Deminar, or whatever the hell you say your name are, Superfund lady. I got it all. So, then we go on to the national priority list. He says, no, you're wrong. I'd like to state the fact that, they're not separated. They're not on the national priority. They're still on the national priority list. Like I said, came home, looked. Sorry. Then he talked about the yard waste and it being consolidated and the M&H site and that big pile behind some fucking homes that's just north or south of me. And he said that wasn't related to Carus. No, that's not Carus Chemical property. That is the most highly contaminated property of fucking M&H, though. The most highly contaminated property. So, ask yourself. It's for on record, people. So you know what? You go back, it's transcribed. Just like I went back and I got to read the 2017 meeting, the 2015 meeting. Yep. It's transcribed. Carus Chemical wants this in the fucking transcripts. That they don't care if there's facts behind it. Because the EPA is not going to check and nobody's going to fact check, but I will. That's the problem. I will. There's so many layers to this onion. So many layers. I don't think my man Tom Diamond can remember half of the layers that he unpeeled 20 fucking years ago. But you know what? There's paperwork. It's called the paper fucking trail. And it's not hard to find, Slick. And I told you, Mr. Tom Diamond, that you'd be on my show today. You're in a fuck attorney for Carus Chemical, and you're in a room full of residents up on a podium that's being transcribed and lying through your teeth. You know what I said to that man? I said, till you can show me facts and data, partner, I believe the fuck words you say, because I got it all down at my house. I know what I read. I might read a lot. I might get confused sometimes, but trust me. I know what the fuck I read. So the lawyer's a liar. The EPA girl is just up there. This meeting was for Carus. It wasn't nothing to do about groundwater, because I guarantee you their option will be, let's do nothing with any of this project. Any of it. Then they're talking about how it's gonna be so nice, and they're gonna cap it. This land, after they put the dirt in, and they dig a hole in all that fucking slag back there and expose even more shit. We don't know what they're gonna do with that, but then they're gonna put our dirt, line it, and put our dirt in it, and then they're gonna cap it, and it's gonna be a nature walk. You fucking think Carus is gonna let us go nature walking on their property? Or be able to fish in the fucking river that they do not own? Fucked up, people. It's what it is. It's fucked up. This whole situation. They got a meeting now. The next town hall Carus meeting. They didn't write nothing in the paper about the meeting last night. They wrote about Carus and their wonderfulness, and about the upcoming meeting July 12th at the LP Auditorium in the newspaper. But PRs are getting good, people. They bought the News Tribune out fucking bad as hell. The whole fucking, all of it. All Shaw Media, shit. Must be Carus owned, because crickets. Crickets. It's all about Carus. Because you want to know why? They want people to go back in history and try to fucking derail and whatever. You know what I'm saying. And it won't be there. The fucking info won't be there. It'll be all tits and glories about how they did this and how they did that and how this and how that. Now let me get back to the fucking M&H and the lawyer. So, Carus Chemical and, M&H are not together. But it's awfully funny that Fred and Cynthia Carus sat and talked to the attorney for Carus quite some time, like they were friends. I even got a picture or two of it. It's pretty interesting. I also got a picture of Cynthia Carus holding the fucking hand to the manager of our Superfund site, like they're fucking homies. Well, I guess when you do 20 years worth of work with them, you kind of get to know each other, right? Ask yourself that fucking question. That's kind of weird, is it not? Kind of weird. Not tied together? Bet he was the same attorney who helped fucking M&H. Tried to get out of the shit. Here's what happened, people. I call it good business. Smart businessmen. They seen M&H crumbling. They seen no future in M&H. They seen the future in potassium permanganate. So what do you think they did? They cut every goddamn tie they had with fucking M&H in the 80s. Whoop! But except some land they wanted that got conveyed to them. They cut ties in the 80s. 81 were filing bankruptcy for M&H. Later in the 80s, he's selling the damn equipment to unknown Carus. Family members. But don't say their name. Because they didn't want to pay the IRS. And they did that underneath. He did that underneath. That shit was supposed to go to the IRS. It was a sheriff's auction, and they snuck it in, and Carus Chemical people bought the fucking equipment back. Fact, Jack. It's in the paperwork. It's history. Can't make it up. Wish I could. Wish I fucking could. But I can toot on my fucking horn all day long, people. Toot, 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 toot. So, meeting, town hall. They're trying to settle everybody out. The problem is they're too scared of me, but they're not offering the right amount of money to the people that I've been talking to. You're fucking crazy. You're fucking crazy. How about that? You think it's going to be easy. Them, whatever you got to sign up, them were easy. But I seen something today, people. They want to give, we'll pay for your truck and we'll do this, but you know what? You're going to have to go get this notarized and make sure your house, you sign off on the house and all that shit too. Really. So now it's this or that. That's what we're dealing with Carus Insurance. And if I had an 80 grand offer, I sure the fuck, I don't know. 180 might get me the fuck out of here. Buy my house, man. I'm gone. Because we know you ain't going to do nothing else. You ain't going to do shit. Park a fucking semi over here. Christ's sakes. I'm going to give you some pictures later. I got shit to do today, but I got to work on something. We're going to get a little video up. We're going to show the facts and the data. And I'll prove everything wrong that this fucking lawyer just fucking said in that meeting last night. And I'm really ashamed that we didn't have, but there wasn't many people in that meeting, you know. I don't know what's going on in this town, but I don't know. I can't wait to get the fuck out of it. So Jerry Reynolds, if I got an offer for 80 grand, counter offer that motherfucker for me, because they ain't talking to me. And if you want to see the email of me asking them to buy me out and them telling me we ain't buying shit out, we'll work through your insurance. I'll show it to you. Trust me. There ain't no fucking offer. Oh, who the hell is feeding you guys bullshit up in that city? Must be them 3 or 4 eyes at Carus. New PRs are good. They got new ones. Got new ones. New. And they're doing a damn good job. Them fucking boys you had before, I don't know. You could have paid all of us our money. You wasted that. I made them look foolish. I made you look foolish. See, I know what you're doing. You're taking over media. You're taking over the media so you can drown our voices out. It ain't gonna fucking happen. If I gotta make my own fucking newspaper, fuck, who says I can't? Maybe I need to look into that. I can just call myself Reporter fucking Hicks. You never know. But I'll bring it to you. And, you know, when you're in the paper, you don't really have to write the truth. Because you can always, if you fuck it up, somebody catches it, you can always go back, erase it, and fix it. That's how the times work now. Pretty messed up, ain't it? Meeting was a shame. All for Carus. It was a show to get their Carus not involved in the Superfund cleanup. Totally separated. Just so happened to buy the land. Just so happened. Just so happened they had to put fence up all the way around all the fucking property. Miles of it. To keep people out. But they can have employees in there. And they can work in there. I don't get it. I don't get it. How do you claim we're safe? This world's so fucked up it ain't even funny. And yep, we thought Carus was going to be worried about fucking yards showing up contaminated. U.S. EPA Superfund people are more fucking worried about it than Carus, trust me. How bad would that look on them? A Superfund site turned into a Superfund site again within 3 fucking years of cleanup. Wow. Because of bad practice and bad fucking business and big corporate taking too many fucking people to Hawaii or wherever they go on vacation in their private jet planes. And you own your own fucking airline shit, got your own plane. You don't need to show proof of where you're going. You just get on the fucking thing and jet. You don't need a ticket. You don't need to check in your fucking baggage. They put you on their fucking private jet and you sit back, drink fucking wine, and you show up there. Get in your bikini and off you fucking go. Not that fucking hard to do. And everything's on me because it's all a tax write-off. Right, Inga? Right? Pete? Guys are fucking wonderful business people. But that's what it is. They did good business, man. Good business. They knew that M&H was drowning. And they fucking took them out. So that means the brother who started the sister company turned into the brother company. Or sister, brother, however they do that shit. Anyway, it's the mother now. I call it the mothership. So, nice day today. It's kind of warm. Stay hydrated if you're outside. I'm feeling for you people that work for... I'm feeling for everybody that's involved in this community with the hospital bullshit. Really am. Total disgrace. Disgrace. And people got their own opinions on it, and people can say what they want to say, but when the facts show and you're in charge of the ship, you're in charge of the ship, and you go down with it. In 10 months, you're in charge of that ship. 2 of them. You took them down. It's on you. Peace out, people. Keep watching my shit. I keep bringing it to you. Facts will come out later. I'm working on that. Just digging. Get more info. But I'll bring it. Keep watching my shit. Watch my YouTubes too. At the Jamie Hicks Show. Please. I'll start sending links here as well.